Hey everyone, and welcome back to Cruising with Matthew. In this video, I'm going to give you a tour of our Adapted Premium Oceanview Cabin on board Sun Princess. So I really hope you enjoy this video. Now for this cruise in May 2024, we'd initially booked an inside grade of cabin, but shortly after arriving into Athens prior to embarkation day, we were surprised to find that we'd actually been upgraded to this higher cabin, especially as we never requested an adapted grade of cabin, but it was still much appreciated, and hopefully you'll find this video useful. We stayed in cabin 5228, an O3 grade Adapted Premium Oceanview Cabin located on Sun Princess's lowest deck of cabins. Whilst we've never stayed in a cabin this low down on a ship before, it turned out to be an unexpected bonus, as we were really close to the majority of the main public areas lower down on the ship. This included things like the piazza, Princess Arena, and the main dining rooms. The only issue we encountered location-wise was the fact that this cabin was directly above one of the large doors where luggage is brought onto the ship. Therefore, on turnaround days, we often felt some vibrations and heard noises as luggage cages were moved around, but it wasn't too distracting, and for the majority of our time here, we didn't hear a thing. Going into the cabin itself, you'll find a wide hallway which has a full-length mirror as well as two clothes hooks, with one being closer to the floor. Next door, you'll find the cabin's bathroom, which is arranged as a wet room rather than a traditional cruise ship bathroom. Here you'll find a toilet with several grab rails as well as a small sink area. This includes some complimentary hand wash and lotion, as well as a covered shaver plug if needed. Above, you'll find several small shelves should you want to store any toiletries, although storage space is somewhat limited in the bathroom. You'll also find a shower with a retractable shower stall, as well as complimentary shampoo, body wash and conditioner, all of which are at stool height. You'll also find several grab rails here, as well as an emergency cord which reaches all the way down to the floor for extra peace of mind. Elsewhere in the bathroom, there's also a clothesline as well as two hooks at variable heights. Moving into the main area of the cabin, you'll find a large wardrobe which opens to reveal a number of shelves as well as the cabin safe. You'll also find a good amount of hanging space above, which has the added benefit of having a light fitted into the railing. Adjacent, you'll find a large shelving unit, as well as several drawers underneath. Across the cabin, you'll find a large desk area, which on embarkation day has several bits of useful information, including your daily princess patter, as well as information about Sun Princess as a whole. The cabin also has dedicated tea and coffee making facilities, although these can always be removed if you don't plan on using them during your cruise. There's also one of the cabin's telephones should you need to call guest services or places like that on the ship. Above you'll find two small shelves which stores a selection of glasses, as well as giving a little bit more storage space if you need it. The desk area is also where you'll find the majority of the cabin's electrical outlets. This includes two USB-A and two USB-C ports, as well as 3 US and 2 EU plug sockets. Underneath the desk itself, you'll find several small drawers, which we found to be a useful spot to store any paperwork which we accumulated during the cruise, as well as any electrical wires. You'll also find the cabin's hairdryer, which my partner Yeyan said was quite powerful. On the right hand side, there's also a small but fairly powerful mini fridge. Moving across the cabin, there's also a queen size bed, which can be reconfigured into two separate twin beds if you prefer. I also appreciate that there's plenty of space underneath the bed itself, so you can store any of your empty suitcases here to avoid clutter elsewhere in the cabin. Either side of the bed, you'll find a bedside table, which included a fairly deep drawer as well as a cubby hole. Something we really liked was the fact that there's also a US plug socket as well as a USB Type-A and a USB Type-C socket on each side of the bed as well. Above this, you'll find a rather jazzy looking reading light as well as yet another cabin telephone on the right hand side of the bed. Moving to the opposite side of the cabin, you'll find a large smart TV which has a whole host of smart functions in addition to offering a good selection of TV shows and movies. I really appreciated how much information was on offer here, so it's well worth looking through all this if you have any questions, as it might save you a trip to guest services. Below the television, you'll find a large sofa, which looked like it could be converted into an extra sofa bed if required. Whilst fairly comfy, the layout of this cabin means that the sofa has to face away from the TV, which is a shame, but not the end of the world by any stretch. The best part of this cabin though has to be what we called the Nook, as it features a cosy seating area where you can sit back and gaze at those stunning sea or port views thanks to your large picture window. It was also a great place to put our adorable towel animals, which our fantastic cabin steward had made. Plus, underneath the seat itself, you'll also find some drawers, which offers yet more storage space, so we felt like this was a fantastic part of the cabin. Overall, we were really impressed with this cabin on board Sun Princess. Whilst I can't comment on the adaptability features as we didn't need them, I thought there was a generous amount of storage space in the main area of the cabin, although perhaps it was a little limited in the bathroom. The whole cabin felt wonderfully fresh and modern, and I really appreciated how many USB ports and plug sockets there were, and this was a massive improvement over older cruise ship cabins, which was great to see. Likewise, we were really impressed with the smart TV, as it gave you lots of information and plenty of interactive features. The only issue we encountered in the whole cabin was the fact that we got some noise from the luggage area during turnaround days as well as on the final day of the cruise, but beyond this we didn't hear any noise, so I wouldn't let this location put you off. The standout feature for me though has to be the window seat, as it really helped us make the most of this Oceanview cabin, and I'd happily stay in a cabin with a Nook like this again. So there you have it, my cabin tour of our premium adapted Oceanview cabin on board Sun Princess. If you want to know more about cruising with Matthew, then check out my other social media channels, the link is in the description below. I hope you're all doing well at the moment, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. So until next time, this is Cruising with Matthew, and thank you so much for watching.